Welcome back. I'm Pablo Ortiz-Monasterio. I'm the founder of AS3 Driving Training. Let's look at this video and understand what went wrong. First thing that we have to understand is car theft is a thing that is more and more common within the United States. And even in other parts of the world where this has been going on for years, we have different views and different ways of doing this. People tend to normalize things around them. Our brain has a very, very sick necessity to fit everything we see into our environment. We do not have the previous part of this video, but what we see here is that car is dangerously close to where he's closing the back door of his minivan. The moment this guy comes out, he actually takes a step towards this person. But here's where it gets worse. First, he didn't recognize this as a threat situation, even though these guys are stopping, that door is opening. He had time. If you notice that the bad guy is taking his time. He knows he's not going anywhere. Once he's out of the car, then he needs to rush a little bit to actually cut him off guard. But he knows he has time because we tend not to react to that kind of situation. The whole thing could have been prevented, but let's go back a little bit. He is putting things into the trunk of that van. He opened the back door and he's facing in. His back is facing out. That car was probably not looking for him precisely, but took advantage of that situation. So the first thing that we're missing, unfortunately, that part of footage, but the first thing that would be important to understand or to know in this particular situation is, were they just waiting for him, or, which I don't think, which is very unlikely, or were they just seizing the moment, seizing that opportunity when he turned his back into the world without realizing that they were already there, seeing, watching what he was doing. So, which is probably the most likely scenario. They wanted his car. They did not want him. They did not want to harm him. Proof of that is that they did not shoot him when he tried to wrestle the gun away from the robber. That is a very bad idea. First of all, he has the upper hand. He has a force multiplier that is way greater than whatever you can do. So unless you are an MMA fighter with super good training, I would suggest, and even in those cases, some of the best fighters that I've met would tell you that they would raise their hands and let the situation play out. But that is too late. The thing here is, when you're opening the back door of your van, you need to look, assess your surroundings. If there's anything you don't like, the first thing you need to do is don't ignore it. We tend to normalize things thinking that they must have a reason, and that is normalcy bias. We don't like looking for things that jump out of our environment, that create a risk in our environment, or that create a threat, or that take away our peace of mind. But you need to ignore that. If there is something that doesn't fit, if there's a car with two people, or in this case, there's a car with people inside it, think twice before opening that back door. And if you're going to open because you need to leave, make sure you know where they are at all times. If they start moving towards you, you need to get away from there, away from the vehicle, into your home, or even if you have time, into the vehicle, get it in motion. The single most dangerous place you can be in the world is in or around a non-moving vehicle. We're talking about, Gavin de Becker has published in his book, 64% of all attacks happen in or in around a vehicle. And the one thing that they all have to in common, or most of them have in common, is that vehicle had to stop for the attack to take place. The vehicle is moving, you have a safe place. Very, very seldomly, unless it's a very direct hit, very, very seldomly you'll see an attack on a moving vehicle because they need to stop it. In this case, they want the vehicle. They don't want to kill him. So if he could have had time to move, to get that vehicle in motion, it wouldn't have been enough. But even better, if he sees that vehicle approaching, all he had to do is take a step back and run into his house. leave the door open, forget about everything else. Get out of there. Put distance between you and the attacker. Don't let them shorten that distance. And then, of course, don't wrestle the gun. He was very lucky. They did not shoot him. He got a couple of punches out of it, but they still got the car because there were more than one, which is usually the case. They had a force multiplier, which he didn't have. Even if he had it, he didn't have time because they had the factor of surprise. He waited for it. He actually walked towards the attacker. Not being able to tell when there's something out of the ordinary in your environment is what gets you into these type of situations. And once you see it, as I said, don't normalize it. Don't try to justify something you know nothing about. The principle of uncertainty. You don't know what they are doing there. Why are they there? What is their goal? Are they waiting for something? You don't know. Don't make assumptions. Think that this type of thing can happen, and then plan and act accordingly. As I said, I don't mean that you're not going to be able to do anything because you're always looking and seeing things that are out of the ordinary. But keep in mind, if they're there and they're not supposed to be there and you're in a rush, you need to leave, pay attention to their position at all times. If they move, get out of there. Make the decision. Don't second guess yourself. Thank you for watching. I'm Pablo Ortiz-Monasterio. I'm the founder of AS3 Driving Training. Give us a like, subscribe, take a look at our YouTube channel. It's brand new. We're going to be pushing a lot of information out, and we really, really, really want to know what you think and how this might be better to make you on your life, make you a better professional, or make your life easier while you're doing whatever it is you're doing. Thank you very much.